In the Trenches with Ryan Roxie.
You have to have stories about people that, okay, you're kind of in charge of keeping the fucking singer off of,
Yes.
on the straight and narrow. Have you ever put in that handler position?
Yeah, luckily not for Alice Cooper, because with Alice it would have been a little bit too crazy, I think, to be in a band with him back in his heyday. Like back when he was like, because he told me he'd wake up with a Budweiser, go to bed with a Budweiser. It was always in his hand. It was a microphone or a beer, and so I've only known him, clean and sober. So, but I have been
in enough that because I met him through Depp, and I go,
that's right, because that's the thing. He plays. Everyone that's listening right now is like, we know Roxie. We know that he plays in Hollywood Vampires, but I'm surprised that we haven't met through that before, because Depp's come up with us enough times where I thought you might be in the same orbit when he was playing, when we were playing, perhaps an LA show. He came up at the Pantages, and I do have to say this about Depp. He was one of the best prepared musicians that's ever come up and jammed with Alice Cooper, and that's probably how it all worked out with the Hollywood Vampires. He ended up being in a band with Joe Perry and everybody. But the thing was, I thought he was just going to come up for a couple songs, and then he goes, "No, man, man, come over to the house. We'll practice a little bit, and then we'll play like 6 songs." All right, cool. So everybody went over to that house that he has, and where he has the jam room in.
Yeah,
and so
64 or 84. Anyway.
Yeah, he learned all the songs like perfect, except for Poison, right? The one song that he hadn't really gotten down to, and then he goes, "Brother, I'll have Poison down by tomorrow." And I go, "I have no doubts you will." And so when the next day came, the guy came up and played half the set with us. So it was like he was very, very well prepared. And I'm sorry to cut your story off about when you guys met, but so you have met Alice before was it a Hollywood Vampire show, or what was it?
Yeah, it was. I was staying at Depp's, and so you want to go to this? We're doing a benefit at a high school. It was a benefit for some kind of private school. So I saw him playing in a fucking basketball court for some private fucking school with the Vampires, and like. Alice, I know. I was going to ask you, because you're about the same age. I knew I was going to fanboy out, and I was reticent. I know I'm going to be drinking, and I know he's a clean and sober guy, and just don't fanboy out about one particular album that I knew probably still know every lyric to, and it's From the Inside.
Wow. That was his sober album too, and a bunch of great musicians on that album.
It was about his time in a mental institution, and I go, he probably doesn't even want to ever hear that album again because it's a bad time. And what I want to bring up is there's a lot of albums from those days that I go, why would I have, like, I knew Alice Cooper and fucking all the songs that you had to know, 18.
School's Out, 18.
School's Out, all those. And this was one that didn't really have any hits on it. And I think there was a period of time. Did you have where you would get albums from the library?
Yes. I still have albums that I have not returned. I don't even want to know what the late fees are now.
But they were always the worst ones, because
I'll tell you exactly which ones they are. I mean, because I know it. I have a Devo album. The one De-Evolution, the one that had we are not man, we are Devo, Devo. I have that one. I have Heart Bebe Le Beau or something like that. Fifi LaRue. I don't know.
Hotel Heavy Horses. Only because it was available for free, and I hadn't figured out how to go to Columbia House Record Tape Club yet.
Right. Oh well, dude, that was the way that a lot of us discovered music, and I've heard you talk about that Columbia House thing. Did you ever actually join a Columbia House?
Yeah, I got in trouble. I was 10 years old. I just had to look this up because Dr. Hook was like, we just interviewed fucking Dr. Hook, and he was like, I had tweeted this, like, do you remember the first albums you ever stole from Columbia House? And he responded with, I think it was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. And I'm like, what? That was a 70s thing. You were already a star in the 70s, and you're still.
You could have afforded the albums. You could have got the albums for free.
That's what he wrote back. He said, well, I was on Columbia House at the time, so they probably took it out of my royalties.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Shit.
Columbia Records.
I used to like, okay, so my next door neighbor, Adam Wakeland, he used to actually, he was part of that Columbia House. And so I would remember the 8-track tapes that he'd get. I don't know why he opted for the 8-track tapes, thinking that was going to be the future, right? 8-track tapes with fade ins and fade outs. But there were albums like Angel, White Hot. I don't know if you remember the band Angel. They were like kind of like, they were like a counterpart of Kiss, where Kiss was, all dark and sort of scary. Angel was white and sort of heavenly. So it was like the same manager, that kind of stuff. But the albums I remember were those K-Tel albums where there'd be a ton of different songs from the original artist, from the original singers, but then there'd be some albums where they try to hoodwink you. They try to hoodwink you.
You go, why is this available for 99 cents? Oh, this is not the fucking actual Village People. These guys are just posing as gay.
Yeah. Sky rockets in flight, afternoon delight, and it'll be some sort of version of it that was crap, and it wasn't crap, but it was probably, it just wasn't the real thing. But I do remember Dr. Hook being on one of those albums that I think it was the K-Tel. It was either K-Tel or it was Ronco.
Ronco Records, yeah, that was another one. Yeah, and Ginsu Knives, all in the same era. ELO, Out of the Blue, I think is the first. So I just deep dived this, so I want to purge it. What I remember stealing: Bob Seger's Stranger in Town. I found like 4 that I go, I know I got that, and that's when I went, wait, no, I wouldn't have got that from Columbia House. That must have been from the library.
There's a Kansas album in my library collection somewhere. Somewhere there's a Kansas album.
I know. I picture the cover.
What about Warren Zevon albums? Was there a Warren Zevon album in there?
No, I was looking at, I was going through some site that had the top songs of every year. So that's how I pinned down when I fucked over Columbia House record and tape. Okay, I know I had that. That was 77. That was 78. Columbia House would allow retailers 6 months of exclusivity before they'd put it on the fucking tape a penny to the postcard thing. So it was 77, 78. It was 10 or 11. I remember my mother going batshit, going, "You're going to get bad credit," or some shit. I'm like, no, Ma, they can't. How do they know? How do they know?
I wonder if that's what it all ends up on, as a Columbia House. Sorry, we'd love to sell you this house, but if you look back inside your credit, yeah.
My fucking head is ping-ponging all over the fucking charts right now. But so Alice Cooper, cut to, I get drunk at their show. I know he's clean and sober.
Don't fanboy.
I ran out. I was like in the wings backstage. So I ran out at one point to take a picture of fucking Johnny, and he's like, "Fuck you! I'm on stage taking pictures. I'm that asshole." Like, yeah. And afterwards, I talked to Alice Cooper, and I go, "I don't want to, I'm that guy. Hey, fucking from the inside." And he lit up. It was where he's like,
his favorite records.
Every one of those stories is true. Jackknife Johnny was a real guy.
Yeah. And he'll tell you about those guys. We've done so many albums. We've done so many songs off that album over the years.
Fucking From Across the Street. It's the album that no one knows, and you just brought up bits from that. And I'm like, fuck yeah, you know that?
Yeah, but those are the ones that they're classics. Those are the ones that sort of make you that make you might know the hits, so to speak, but those are the ones that make you a true fan of the band. And
I didn't tell him I probably got it from the library. It's the only one we had. I didn't
good album to get from the library. Shit, Steve Lukather played on that album. Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick played on that album. There's a lot of great musicianship.
It's one of the fucking best songs. I took that serious.
Yeah. We did that a couple years ago.
And a joke and a drink and a smoke, and then I passed out on the floor.
Yeah, man. See, and how do you say you don't like music? See, that's the thing. I feel that music is the great sort of denominator, maybe the great communicator, as well as comedy, because there's certain types of music you just don't like. There's certain types of comedy people just don't like. But if you can agree on music in certain bands and certain comedians, I think everybody has that, and that's it's a bonding thing. No,
There's it's a bit that never worked, but when people say what kind of music do you like, and I picked out a specific Alan Parsons Project had a song that was there was a lyric that says the sun in your eyes makes some of your lies worth believing. And because of the moment that I was in, and a girl probably, that lyric affected me, but the rest of the song is shit. And I don't really know any other Alan Parsons Project songs that I know of. So if you're asking me what type of music I like, it's that one lyric. Or Dr. Hook, pack your umbrella because Sylvia's starting to rain. That's the kind of music I like, just that much. And maybe the rest I fucking hate. I don't know.